Have you ever just wanted to create a simple spreadsheet to help track your income and revenue as well as your expenses for your business with a Google Sheet? Well, in this video, I'm going to explain how to do this in a really effective way that actually can help you with your business, whether you're just starting or maybe if you're a little bit more advanced and you're not ready for accounting software yet. I'm Dr. Brian Rea with DBR Bookkeeping, and I help small businesses and entrepreneurs with their bookkeeping. But really, it's understanding about what you actually need to track and how to track that for your books. Again, the process of bookkeeping is tracking all money coming in and money going out for your business. So if you're just starting out and you don't have a lot of transactions, say less than 20 a month, then maybe a simple spreadsheet like this could work. If you have any questions about this spreadsheet, you can always contact me or check out my community, DBR Bookkeeping, which has this spreadsheet already pre-made, this template, so you don't have to make it from scratch. So let's talk about this template. So in this demo of our sample income expense tracker, it's the biggest things you need to track are your date of when the transaction was, a description of what that transaction is, and then some type of category. So in this, I've made the basic categories that you would probably need for all your expenses. This includes marketing and advertising, all your software, all subscriptions of any type of those kind of monthly or annual type of things that you would pay for, all office supplies, that anything's office related, your computer, your paper, your toner, anything like that that's related to your office can fall into here. Professional development. This is a big one if you're a newer entrepreneur. Any classes you take, courses you're doing that you can write that are directly towards your business to help you improve. Business coaching are all good. Business meals. Again, if you're going on a meals with your clients, you can do that. Any travel and all lodging that's business related can go in there. And then any type of equipment that you might possibly have, especially if you're a service-based business and you're buying say like a lawn care, you're buying a lawn mower, you're buying a weed eater, there might just be some larger equipment in here that you need to track. And then here, there's just other business expenses that maybe not be above. Again, there are many other more categories, but for many people, most of your stuff's probably going to fall somewhere in these expenses. And then with your revenue, there's also sales. There's also other income. If you wanted to track something else to have just multiple line items. So once you pick that little category, then it's real simple. You have kind of very similar to a bank register, which you have your money in column. So anytime it has money coming in, which we call sales, or any side projects. Again, this is a refund as well, right? Again, but this went from office supplies. We got a return from office supplies. We got some money back. So again, anytime money coming in is in this column, and then anytime we have money going out is in the amount out column. The reason I created this way is that now you can kind of have a running balance really quick and easy to see. Hopefully this number is in the positive by the end of the month. And you also can see some of your cash flow. Again, this is not your bank balance, but you can see how much you have spent over time until you actually got some revenue. So if you need to adjust maybe your cash flow or maybe adjust where your expenses are or where you get your income, you're going to clearly see what is working and what's not. And here's kind of my tally for everything. So all my sales, all my other income, any refunds that I've given, here's a total for that. And then expense, right? I have a running total for all of the different categories. So you can see how much did I spend in travel this month? $150 instead of adding up all of these things. So it becomes really easy just to kind of see in a snapshot where your business is as long as you just put in your information. And then you have your net income, or AKA your bottom line, the number you've made this month. And again, the goal is to make sure that this number is positive. Basically, all it is your revenue, your top line revenue, minus your total expenses, which will equal your net income. And if you do this for every month, so in this sample, right, this template I've made one for every single month that you can do. So here's February, you can do March, and it goes for every single month. So let's kind of walk you through it, what it will look like. Here's April. You put in the date, you put in what it was for. Say it was a Canva. So Canva is a software subscriptions. You also can put in marketing, advertising, whatever it is may be, just make sure it's consistent every time you do it. In this example, this is money leaving our business, so it costs $14.99. So there is that. And then, so say a couple days later, we made some money. We got some sales, right? There was a deposit into your bank account, so we got some sales, and say you made $300, right? So now you can kind of see this running balance, and you can see all these numbers here are automatically updated. So let's do a few more. So we'll stay on the 8th here, 4/8. Just put a nice, again, the date is very important to track all of this. And let's say we had some marketing, right? So say you had some ads, some Facebook ads, right? And that was money going out, and you spent $75 on ads. And then maybe on the 10th, right, you made some money, right? We'll fix this here real quick. The bookkeeper inside of me doesn't like that. Okay, here we go. So maybe here you made some sales from those Facebook ads a couple days later. Awesome. So we got some sales, and say that made you $600. Excellent. So now we got this nice running total. You can see how much revenue you've made, but now we got some expenses here. Right, so you got some contract labor, and you paid someone to help you with your advertising, and you spent, say, $200 there. Say $419, right? Say you had to go get some stuff, some printer toner, so printer toner, and it was an office supplies. Right, then we can put money going out. So again, toner's expensive, so we'll put $75 there. But say then a couple days later, you went on some travel, right? So say you went to you got a hotel for your trip. So again, that's some travel lodging, and that cost you $150. And then while you were on that trip, you had some meals during trip. Right. If it's travel, right? Travel meals, right? You actually can put the full amount there. You can put them in business meals, but it's best just put them in travel, because all a travel expense. And say you spent $47 during that, and then on, say, a couple days later, right? Let's see. Let's try to get a variety of stuff, and say you bought some equipment for your business, right? So say you bought some tools, right? And that cost you $150. All right, and say that's all you had for the month. So again, it wasn't a lot of transactions, but now you can see really clearly how much money you made, right? How the expenses broke down, and then what your net here on the bottom. Again, this net should be the same as here as to here, but it's kind of nice to see it. This minus this equals this. And then you can have that for the entire year. What I've really made it with this one is that I've actually overall, you're going to see this boom. So I have consolidated all the information so you can see it by months, but you also can see it by quarters. So now in Q1, so say you're trying to work on your estimated taxes, or you just need to know how much did you make for the quarter, because sometimes quarters have different trends or seasonality. If you've gone through the entire year and did everything, then here's an example of what you see over the year. So you can see how sales has slowly increased over the year. Awesome, that's a good thing. And then you can see how this is progressed. So overall, for the entire year, you've made $26,000. And then you can see how all the marketing and all the software, you can see the totals for everything here and your total expenses. So again, what you want is to be a positive number. So total money here minus here, right, gives you total here, 26,000 minus 9,000 plus gives you a net of $17,000. Now, one thing to note is that anytime you pay yourself, this is usually called an owner draw, and that is not an expense. Again, if you pay yourself, say you paid yourself $10,000 over the year, that is not an expense. So what you need to report for your taxes is here. If you want to add a note, you can always calculate that. But again, do not add that as an expense. And then I even added some margins in here just because if you want to see where your margins are and if you're trying to hit your target margins for your business. For this business, you can see they've really improved their margins over the course of the year, controlled their spending, and really ended their little small business here very well. And this is the type of information that you can print out, you can give to your CPA, and they can break this all down to see all of this. They might ask you for some clarifications on some things, but you can always go back to, all right, what was this stuff here in Q3? You can go and find Q3 and see if you can find those specific amounts. Right? Again, I didn't put any descriptions here because I was just trying to, this is a sample, but I would encourage you to please put a description for all of your expenses with the dates to keep things really clean. So if you were to have a nice little spreadsheet like this that you can go in and just take all your receipts, take out your bank statement, and just put in all your expenses and all your revenue for the month, you would do a great job, and it would only take you a little bit of time to do that. If you are interested in getting this type of already pre-made template, please let me know, or come check out the DBR Bookkeeping Skool community. You can join that community where I can mentor you with all of this information, as well as if you're ready to expand and get onto QuickBooks Online. If you need better tracking, more thorough tracking, say this just isn't enough and you don't want to manually input all this stuff, well, QuickBooks will actually pull in all those transactions, and you can categorize things much quicker than typing in the date, the description, category, amount in every single time. But again, if you only have just a few transactions and you don't mind doing just a little bit of input, this template has been pre-made. You can still join the community to learn strategies on how to do all this stuff, and it's all included. And as a special, if you join the community, there's a 7-day free trial, and you can get this spreadsheet if you join the free trial for absolutely free to check things out, get it, and then you don't have to pay anything. Again, no obligation to stay, but I would love for you to get this resource. I'm Dr. Brian Varela with DBR Bookkeeping, and I hope you guys have a great one. Let's start doing business right.